Hey everyone, it's just me in the studio right now. Angus has left me to record this alone. Luckily, he has left me with some pre-recorded things that I can make him say literally anything. Well, not really. Any of the 5 things he's told me.
Yeah.
We have entered a podcast competition to win a heap of prizes, and there is a People's Choice category, and we need you guys to vote.
That's right.
We have submitted 2 minutes of original content, so content you will not hear on this podcast unless you vote for us.
That's right.
It's amazing, isn't it, Angus?
Wowza.
We need you guys to vote. We need your vote to help us.
I totally agree.
You can vote by going in the description of this episode. It is the first thing. It says vote for Zach and Gus. Just click that. Use your Facebook account. Use your Gmail account. Use any account you've got.
That's right.
We really need you guys to vote. So, Angus.
Go vote now.
This is Zach and Gus, the podcast.
Rock, paper, scissors, paper. I did it again.
Angus, for the second week in a row, has taken what I usually do, and you said
It's
something.
your fault. I blame you. No one has ever done that until you did it, and now you're just spreading it onto everyone.
Do you want to go again?
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors, paper.
Rock, paper, scissors, rock. Rock, paper, scissors, paper. Oh,
Yes.
you. I was
Welcome
gonna say
to
a bad
episode.
word. I was going to say a word that might not have ever been said on the show.
No, I think it's been said once by Hugh, but I didn't know if it was actually said by him, so I just bleeped it anyway.
Right. Wait, so you couldn't understand what he was saying?
It was either that or you replace the A. Or you replace the vowel with
yeah,
an A.
but you would be able to tell from the context which one it was.
No, you couldn't.
If you guys are wondering what word we're talking about, it's bleep.
Thanks, I've just believed that, and if I haven't, oh god.
All right, wait, who won just then? You did.
I just won.
So introduce the show, Zach.
I
What are you
tried
doing?
to, and then you're like, I almost swore. It's episode 12, welcome to... That's 3 months.
Whoa, 3 months. I didn't know that, but oh wait, yeah, that's 4 weeks times 3.
Oh, and I think we need to start off this big episode with some big news.
Yep. What news is that?
A song that resonates really, really importantly.
So this is the Rick I think it is that is written on the board.
Yeah, a song that resonates so importantly with us. Rick Astley and his song Never Gonna Give You Up.
Yep.
It's famous for the internet meme Rickrolling. It's happened once on this...
actually mostly famous for a video this YouTuber Aorp did
Shut
on
up.
it. Which you should watch. Go to the link in the description of this
Oh,
podcast.
stuff, you know, I have to plug your YouTube channel.
It's a good video.
Okay.
Slightly disturbing video, but it's fine.
So that video, well, not video, but the song Never Gonna Give You Up, that's famous for Rickrolling people, correct?
Yes.
We've Rickrolled Angus on this show here.
All right. So, coming up now, we have Wake Me Up by Avicii. This is Zach and Gus on Sin.
Haha, you were rickrolled, bitch!
What?
Shit, I don't know what that audio grab was.
I've Rickrolled you on the radio show.
I remember that vaguely, but I don't remember exactly how it happened. I mean, I assume you just played the song.
Okay, yes. You'll hear it when you're listening back.
I guess, yeah, I will have heard this, and this is not interesting, you guys hearing that I haven't heard it when we're recording. Yeah.
So, over the week, on Reddit, Rick Astley posted in r/pics a photo of him as a child, and someone commented saying, "Oh my god, hi Rick Astley, I went to your backstage concert and we got a photo together," and they linked the photo, and you wouldn't believe what the link was, and you wouldn't believe who clicked on that link.
Rick Astley got rickrolled, is that what you're saying?
Yes, and it's
Surely he would recognize the link. Surely everyone does that to him all the time.
I don't know, but it's the first ever documented case of Rick Astley being rickrolled,
That's amazing.
and I think that's some big news to start the podcast.
I mean, I did see someone get rickrolled on Instagram, and they said, "Oh, I didn't fall for it. I recognize that link." And I kind of was like, "How do you recognize a link?"
Oh no, so do you use Reddit?
I do use Reddit.
You know how you can make the link
Oh yeah,
text?
true,
That's what
yeah.
they had done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
Yeah, very sneaky. And I thought that was some big news to start the big week that
Well,
is
now that
today.
we've had big Rick news, let's get ready for some big Kyle chat.
Kyle
Kyle
Sandilands
Sandilands has made 2 appearances on this show, I think. Unless we
Two
talked
appearance-
about that time that I thought I saw him in a car near my place, and it wasn't actually him. But
Two appearances
Kyle-
where he's never actually been on the show. We've just discussed him on the show.
Yeah, I mean, one day we shoot for the stars, land on the moon, or something. So we won't get Kyle. We'll get like I don't know, his
What's the moon? A producer from the Carl and Jackie O show.
yes, someone who's seen Kyle do a lot of up stuff.
So we'll interview someone who's seen Kyle Sandilands.
Yeah, and
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, that does actually sound interesting. I think that's a goal. Kyle Health. So I've just written the smallest bit of information here. I just thought it was important to follow up because we were talking about the 60 Minutes interview where he was talking about his serious health issue, and now he does have a serious health issue. He's getting a throat operation.
Really?
Yes.
And this is worth bringing up as the second thing
well,
in the show.
considering how much of a big deal we made over that 60 Minutes interview, I reckon people will want to know from our show, the place where they rely on for their Kyle news, that Kyle is getting a throat operation. And I'm sending my best wishes out to Kyle right now.
Also sending my best wishes out to the fat... Oh, that's a bit rude.
He could be dying, Zach. That's fucked up. But no, this is the main reason I'm bringing this. Kyle is getting a throat operation and is worried about dying on the shitter, saying, every time I'm doing a shit, I'm thinking, is this going to be it?
That is some actual good vibes.
And yeah, he said he was surprised when his doctor said he couldn't have sex or like
Wow, and that's
do
because of his
anything.
health condition, not because of his fat looks.
No. I mean, maybe the doctor was just like making a joke, but I don't think so. Yeah, no, he's not allowed to engage in physical activity and such.
So he's got a doctor's note to prohibit the man who's never walked a block to not do physical activity.
He might not have walked a block, but I'm sure he's done the equivalent amount of calorie burning in the bedroom. I mean, Kyle is a machine. You just know. You just know.
I mean, yeah, he does have had a model girlfriend, but I think that was because of the mass amount of money he had.
Hey, that's pretty rude. Oh, you just think because he's fat that he only has a hot girlfriend because he has money. That's pretty rude, Zach.
It's Kyle Sandilands.
Yeah, but like, I can see how girls would be attracted to him. It's just
How?
the sheer, not physically. I mean, he's not ugly, but he's just fat. But like, just based on the sheer shock value of the shit that he's done, he's just a man. Like that.
So you would bleep Kyle based on the fact that he's a shock jock.
Look, if the opportunity arose, I would for sure have sex with Kyle Sandilands. I think we might have just gotten our episode title.
Angus would have sex with Kyle. You heard it here first.
Oh no. Yeah, I would though.
That's
Like,
right.
I can't deny it. I'd be lying to the world if I said it wasn't true.
Tune out now. Nothing more interesting is going to come out of this podcast.
Yeah, that's the peak. Wow. And I thought the end thing was going to be the peak, but we peaked early. That's fine. Zach, do you have a game?
Is that something Kyle would do, or do you reckon? Do you reckon Kyle would peak later?
I reckon Kyle. Are you alluding to the fact that Kyle might not last a long time in the bedroom?
I'm just saying he probably doesn't last a long time doing any sort of exercise.
I don't know. Look, I don't think we need to discuss this. The point is,
If we
Kyle-
get him on, we can ask how long he lasts.
or if we get his producer on, but that would mean that his producer would have had to have bleeped him, which I don't think is unlikely.
That's a bit too far.
Shit, yeah, maybe it is.
Also, the amount of bleeping that would have just happened there.
Yeah, this is a family-friendly podcast where we don't talk about radio hosts and their sex lives.
Or lack thereof.
How long have we been talking about Kyle's sex life for now?
I'd say about 5 minutes.
That's how long I wanted it to go for.
Perfect.
Sweet, all right.
Okay, Angus. Last week, we talked we talked for an extended amount of time about your habit right before the podcast. How you went to a party.
Are we talking about my bad financial decisions?
No, just the fact that you went to a party and then you had a late night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and the fact that I was meant to come to record the podcast yesterday because I have a housewarming today, but I went to sleep at 4 a.m. and woke up at 3 p.m.
Not exactly the tangent I was going on, but yes, that also happened. Now, Angus came to my house. He bought a water bottle, a bottle of Pepsi, No, this is last week, by the way, so no need to drink the water bottle that you bought this week.
Yep.
Last week you bought...
I just think that at this point, people like hearing me drink water on the podcast.
I
I
think
mean,
I-
I feel like we needed to get some input because it was... I pissed myself laughing when I listened to last week's episode and I heard myself drinking the water.
How
So I
loud was
want
the water
input.
gulping?
What?
How loud was the water gulping?
It was very loud, but it was like good loud. It wasn't like,
Okay, it wasn't abnormally loud.
yeah.
Okay, that's good. Anyway, so you bought a water bottle, a bottle of Pepsi, you bought a private wildlife application form, and
I
you
didn't
bought
buy that. I printed it on your printer.
a sick pair of sunnies. You left all 4 of them
Oh,
at my house.
brought. I thought you said I bought.
No, you brought. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe you forgot the R there.
Yeah, I think you did.
Along the course of that weekend, you brought something to Tara's party, that party you went to the night before my podcast, or our podcast.
Yeah.
Now, I want these sunnies that I'm picking up and wearing now.
Wait, so at the start of the podcast, Zach's like, you have to win your sunnies back. I'm like, that's theft. And now I think, yeah, this is theft.
You need to tell me what you left behind at Tara's, otherwise I'm keeping these sunnies.
So this is a quiz on my own memories. That's f***ed up.
And I know you're not going to forget, remember, because you were f***ed up last weekend.
That's messed up. But no, joke's on you. I do remember at least one thing I left at Tara's, and you didn't say I had to name multiple things, even though I almost definitely left multiple things.
Okay, what do you think you left at Tara's?
I left. Wait, so have you talked to Tara? Oh, bleep. No, this is messed up, man. Okay. I think I left a jet lighter at Tara's house.
Angus, here are your sunnies.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fucking pissed. I wanted those sunnies.
Yeah, I don't actually remember leaving it there. I just know I don't have it now, and that was the last time I did.
Unfortunately, was that for points? Because that means you're higher than me. on the
Yes,
list.
obviously, if it's a game, I get a point. Yes.
Okay, you heard it here first. You wouldn't hear it anywhere else, but Angus has just overtaken me on the leaderboard on a shit game that I brought
And
up.
I didn't even know that we were equal because, I don't have memories. So.
Well,
You
unfortunately,
should have made that the question. What's your position on the leaderboard? I would have lost.
I'm so pissed. I wanted those sunnies.
Shrek. Okay. Really, honestly, terrible news because look, Zach probably thinks I'm bringing this as a meme. This has deeply hurt me as a person.
I do honestly think you're bringing this as a meme.
I'm not bringing this. So, I got. Oh no, this is sort of teaser for bad financial decisions. But I got a new TV. But that's not the point. I wanted to christen my new TV, obviously, by watching Shrek on it as the first thing. So I go on Netflix and I search for Shrek, and to my absolute shock and dismay, only Shrek 3 and 4 are
No.
on Netflix.
So they've taken 1 and
The
2.
two shittest Shrek movies are the only ones left on Netflix, and the other ones are on Foxtel now, I think.
Why would Fox... okay, understandable why Foxtel has taken the 2 good ones, but why not take the whole series
I
of
hate
Shrek?
it when half of a franchise is on one service and the other half is on another one.
I'm assuming it's going on Binge.
What's Binge?
It's Foxtel's new streaming service.
Because they don't want to be associated with the name Foxtel anymore. Because
Everyone hates Foxtel because it's Rupert Murdoch. Yeah.
yeah, I saw that new Binge thing and I saw the ad on Instagram and I literally commented on the ad, "We don't need a new fucking streaming service." I didn't know it was Foxtel,
It's
but that just
Foxtel.
reaffirms my opinion even more because they stole Shrek.
I see. As a man who doesn't really watch movies, I don't see your pain. However, I do understand the pain of not watching Shrek. But you watched all the Shreks within the last month.
I know, but I had to christen the new TV, and then I didn't get to do that because, well, I could have gone to the extra effort of like plugging my computer in and watching it from there. But another thing that is sort of teaser for bad financial decisions is I don't own a Chromecast currently.
What happened to you? You've bought like 4 Chromecasts in your life. What happened to them?
Find out in a couple segments away.
Okie dokie. I had one more thing on the Shrek. Just buy a VHS player because you own a VHS that I tried to
I
win.
don't technically own my VHS copy of Shrek because Dane won it and I just still Does Dane listen to the podcast?
I don't think, Dane, if you're listening to the podcast, block your ears for the next few
Because
minutes.
I've been like, I just haven't brought up the fact that I haven't been sending it, but I do have a reason. It's because, well, I guess all the COVID shit, like lockdown is over now, but
Restrictions are coming back, boy.
I know, but like I could have seen Dane and given it to him because I wanted to make a video out of it, but I just haven't been stuffed. And originally my excuse was, oh, I can't leave the house, but I lost that excuse and I still didn't do it.
No, you're just lazy.
And also I don't know where it is, to be honest.
Good work, good
I
work.
moved house. That's a valid excuse to not know where a VHS copy of Shrek is.
Okay, sorry. That was just a quick break because I thought my audio was broken.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm done talking with Shrek. And Zach, I don't know what Miss Esther Heidi is about, but it should make it to the 22-minute mark if we want to have a full episode. So, because we're only at 15 minutes right now.
Why are you bringing this up? Why have you calculated this?
I don't know. Because I think it's a fairly often occurrence that we don't have enough content, and I blame you.
I blame you.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it is definitely my fault. But
Angus, for the first time ever, our email got the most interesting email we've ever received.
I'm very excited. Is this more interesting? Well, Raj wasn't an email, but would you call this more interesting than Raj?
It has the potential to be as equal as Raj.
Wow.
From Miss Esther Heidi on the 17th of June. Subject, greetings, dear friend.
Am I the friend or are you the friend?
I think we're the friend.
I see.
Now, it's a very long... I'm going to show you it now. It's like half a page printed. So I've highlighted the most important things.
Okay.
Greetings, dear friend. I'm happy to know you, but God knows you better.
Well, okay. Alright.
And he knows why he has directed me to you at this point, so do not be afraid.
Is our podcast getting inducted into a cult?
It sounds like it. It gets better. I prayed and got you email ID from your country's Ministry of Commerce and Foreign Trade departments.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but I don't think ScoMo A has our email, B has the permission to give our email out.
And C is God.
Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. I'm writing this mail to you with heavy sorrow in my heart. Blah, blah, blah. Please give me this little chance to explain myself to you. Blah, blah, blah. Even if I die on the process of this operation, I will still praise my God
The
Almighty.
process of what operation? Sending us an email.
And then one paragraph in, she introduces herself. My name is Miss Esther Heidi. I am a dying woman and I decided to donate what I have to you for charity.
I shouldn't laugh, but it's definitely not true.
It's a scam. Oh, it's quite obviously a scam. You Google Miss
But
Esther.
is it another prank scam? Has it just become a thing to prank scam us?
No, Miss Esther Heidi is a real scam.
Okay.
Blah, 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 blah. I am 51 years old and she's going to die in 5 years. Because of my health, I have some funds I inherited from my late husband, the sum of $17.9 million. Now, I think in Australian, that's about $24 million. And I needed a very honest and God-fearing... I don't understand religion, but I think God-fearing means that we don't like God.
No, it means we're scared of God. It probably means we obey everything God says because we're terrified of doing something wrong by him.
Okay. So she wants a God-fearing, I'm assuming the word individual is meant to go after that, but it's not, who can withdraw this money, then use the funds for charity. I found your email address from the internet after honest prayers to the Lord. You lying bitch! You said you got it from the government.
So, you have a bunch of money and you're a good Christian person and you want to make sure that it goes to a charity.
Why can't you donate it to your charity yourself?
If you have time to write us that email, unless you were literally dying as you wrote it, which it sort of sounded like you were from what you said, and maybe that's why.
I don't know why you're directing...
Maybe she didn't have enough time to send it to anyone appropriate, so she just had to send it to her favorite podcast.
The Zach and Gus podcast. That's right. Number one for all dying people.
Yeah, we always say this every episode, but we can be relied on to inherit your wealth and donate it to appropriate charities.
Now, fearing that we might have questioned her, she does state that she does not have any child who will inherit this money after I die. Now, also, this should be a warning flag. This is no stolen money and there are no dangers involved. Is 100% risk-free with full legal proof. Now, I think if we do reply to Miss Esther Heidi, I'm asking for that legal proof.
Legal proof. Legal proof that fake money exists.
Anyway, this money is still with them. I don't know who them is. She never
That makes it
mentions-
sound so dodgy.
I know. Presently, I'm with my laptop in a hospital. If you have your laptop, you are definitely able to donate money to someone that's not us.
Yeah, literally just go online. Except no, because they have her money, Zach.
Good point. I want you as God-fearing person. So she's forgotten to also use this money to fund orphanages and widows. Understandable? I want you to take 25% of the total money for your personal use, while 75% of the money will go to
That's
charity.
pretty fucking good. That's a good deal.
I'm not gonna lie, if we get 25% of 18 million US,
We won't even have to worry about the Roadcaster competition anymore, which you should go vote for us now in, because we'll have so much money.
that's like $0.45 million. Even if we take $2 million each and we put $500,000 in the podcast, that's still a lot of money.
Yeah.
I will never have to work for it again in my life. And she wants us to donate 75% of the money to charity. Please kindly respond to me immediately. Thanks and God bless your dear friend, Miss Esther Heidi.
Well, I only have one question, Zach. Did you reply to her immediately?
No,
How are you living with that guilty conscience? A dying woman told you to reply immediately, and you were like, "Oh nah, podcast content. You're a bad person."
I googled her immediately, and there's Google pages worth of this is a scam. So I think we should reply.
Yeah, we should definitely reply.
Do we want to sculpt an email now? Or do we want to sculpt an email after and include the highlights right here? Here we go. This is the email we sent to Miss Esther Heidi.
These are noises my microphone is making because I'm adjusting it after we started recording.
There you go.
Alrighty, so...
Oh, wait, we're not recording. Oh, yeah, we are recording.
This is our reply email to Esther, the old alleged dying lady who contacted the podcast to have us send her money to charities after she dies.
Dear Esther, you've contacted the Zach and Gus podcast, the world's #1 podcast for dying people, as voted by you.
Also, tinyurl.com/votezachgus if you want to vote for us here too.
You said this: there is no stolen money and there is no dangers involved. Is 100% risk-free with full legal proof. Can we please have the legal proof?
Also, if you have a computer, why not donate it yourself?
Also, who are the they, as mentioned many times in your email?
If you're interested, you were mentioned in episode 12 of the podcast. Just search Zach and Gus.
Much love. Hope you're doing well.
Zach and Gus. I guess we just did that.
Sweet.
And now, time for a segment which has only just become a proper segment last week.
But it's been
Before
featured
that,
for like
it
a
just
month.
was a recurring chat about my life. But now I've given it an opener, so we're gonna do this.
You bought 10 slabs of beer.
You bought a giant cardboard cutout of Zach?
Your net bank account balance is $0 and 0 cents.
Oh, no, Gus. What did you buy this week?
Well, let's find out, Zach, because this is Gus's Bad Financial Decisions.
Yep, that's right. This is another edition of Gus's Bad Financial Decisions. I said last week that this is going to be a weekly segment, and I can't see that changing in the foreseeable future. I mean, I guess it's the kind of thing that has to change eventually, and you just know, and it's like one of those things like adult entertainment category or not. Like, it was great. when it was a thing, but eventually all good things have to go. This good thing, however, is not gone yet, that's for sure.
I really hope that it does go sooner or later because I don't like seeing your
Well,
money
I've made an
go
opener
away.
for it, so I reckon that warrants at least 10 more weeks.
10 more weeks. The podcast's been barely going for 10 weeks.
Yeah, and the whole time we've had bad financial decisions. We can't just rip it away so suddenly, or our whole audience will be distraught.
That's fair.
So
I can't wait until I make a bad financial decision and then I'm just going to put my name where your name is.
So this week, it's not actually that bad. To be honest, I just thought this week deserved a mention because I am back with an old friend.
Your old... What?
Afterpay.
No. You do not... You should not be trusted with Afterpay. Drink
I
some
don't know
water.
why you would say that. It's not like I've had it in the past and like gotten in debt. But see, the thing is, even if I had Afterpay in the past, Zach, and gotten in debt, the point from that would be that I did pay that debt back, unlike my debt to other certain companies. Again, we don't need to go into further detail than that. But I did pay. Was that bleeped?
Yeah, it was.
I did pay Afterpay back in the end. They just never let me use that account again. Luckily, that account wasn't in my name, and now that I'm 18, I have an account in my name.
Oh my
And
god.
I've recently moved into a new place, and as you would know, Zach, moving into a new place, you need new things. And
No, you don't. You can use the old things.
Yeah, but there's certain things that you need. Like, I moved and I didn't bring a chair with me, so I needed a computer chair, and I went into
I
Officeworks.
hate this. So
And
much.
I wanted the most expensive chair, and to be honest,
Why? But why?
because the other chair, like the next most expensive one, said student on it. I was like, I'm not a fucking student.
You're 18.
Yeah, but I'm not a student. I refuse to sit on a chair that's made for students when I'm not a student.
Oh my
I have weird values, but
So what are you now that you've spent...
I'm a Bathurst racer.
Have you got a racing car chair?
I don't know. That's what it was called, but it was $169. It
What
had
the
the funny sex number in it.
What a fucking waste of $169.
Actually, no, Zach. What a fucking waste of $45 paid over 4 consecutive payments over 2 months.
My god.
And to be honest, I don't think that's a regrettable decision.
Yes,
Like,
it is. Because do you
I
know
have
what?
a nice chair. It's comfy. It's sort of wonky. I think I didn't put it together right, and now I really want to take it apart, but also can't be flipped.
Angus, do you know what the premise of Afterpay is?
It's probably I would say the premise from Afterpay's point of view is to get poor people in debt.
Yes, they rely on people like you thinking they'll have the money in 2 months, then paying, and then not having the money in 2 months and having to pay an excess amount
and
of
that's
interest.
why you flip with their minds by actually having the money.
Then why not pay it at the start? Why not take that
Because
risk?
Zach, look,
Why
see,
take
here's
that
the thing.
risk?
I needed to make. I'm gonna make this about the podcast. I needed to make openers, as you know. I didn't have a chair to sit at.
You do not need
so
a chair to make
I
openers.
think it was a podcast expense, and you're lucky I didn't hit you up for half the price of that chair.
You're a dick. Might I add, we recorded episode 10 with you lying on a mattress. There
Yeah,
is
but I still, I
also, you record the podcast in a shonky wooden chair at my house.
Yeah, but that's not editing something. Like, I have to actually sit there for a while and, like, message people. Like, it's better to have a chair.
You edited a 30-second opener.
Yes, I'm aware you edit the whole podcast, Zach.
I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is it's not a podcast expense because you're not sitting in it right
Yeah, look,
now.
I was joking, obviously, about it being a podcast expense. All I'm saying is I did need a chair.
I'm just upset because you took
I'm
my...
not setting myself broke with a $160 chair. Zach, might I remind you that I spent $150 on an Uber. You have to admit that the chair is a bit of a better spend than
Yes,
that.
but I gave you $5 to buy me Tim Tams, a double pack of Tim Tams, and he arrives and he goes, I didn't buy it, let me go into your local store. Local regional stores, of course, going to have higher prices. And I-
$4.90, and Zach transferred me $5, and I told him I wouldn't give him change. So he was like, "I want the big pack of Tim Tams," and it was $2.50 at Woolies, but I bought him the small pack of Tim Tams for $4.90 at bleep.
we're bleeping that. We're not doxing the business.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we've already doxed you. Where the
Bleep.
else would I have bought Tim Tams
I don't
in
know,
Aries Inlet?
Bleep, bleep.
Which has also just been bleeped.
That's not in Aries Inlet, though.
Doesn't matter, does it?
Okay, all right.
I'm pissy that you wasted my money on a single packet of Tim Tams. Which, do you
Alright.
know what? I'm gonna eat one right now.
That's worse than drinking on the show.
I don't give a shit.
All right. So that's one part.
There's more.
Well, I mean, I don't consider this a bad financial decision either, but I spent pretty much an identical amount of money as I spent on the chair on a TV, which is not much to spend on a TV. TVs are usually expensive things, so I think 150, 60 bucks
That's
on
a bargain.
TV is fine.
Hmm.
It was also 50 inches, so that's also pretty good.
That's something you'll never be able to say.
Neither can anyone. That's not a roast. Anyway, I have also purchased on Afterpay. This one's like not nearly. I mean, it's just kind of stupid that I purchased this on Afterpay because it's so cheap. But I've bought my 4th Chromecast.
I hate you so much.
And that's a bad decision until you realize, well, if I had the other 3, that would be dumb. But I don't, so I need another one.
Can you please tell me exactly how you've lost the first 3 Chromecasts?
The first Chromecast, I think I left at an apartment in Chadstone. The second Chromecast, I think I left at probably another apartment somewhere. The third Chromecast, I left at a hotel in Burwood East. And I paid $300 for the hotel, so it kind of sucked when I left and realized that I'd lost $45 by losing my Chromecast. And so it's taken me a couple months to buy another one. And this is the first time that I haven't bought it outright. But to be fair, one of them was
afterpaid a
gifted.
Chromecast.
Yeah, I afterpaid a Chromecast.
It's-
One
so
of my
what, you're paying
Chromecasts was
10
gifted to me. Oh shit, I can't say how I got the other one. But I think I just made it blatantly obvious.
Angus acquired a Chromecast. No, but I'm more shocked about the fact that you're
Wait,
afterpaying.
that literally means this is the first one that I've paid for. Oh wait, no, I think I paid for the first one. Yeah.
Why are you afterpaying something?
That cost $45? Because I only had 15.
How are you going to afford the chair then?
I can afford... That's makes it barely anymore. If I go onto my Afterpay account, and we
Oh
see,
god. How much do you have to pay per fortnight?
if we have a look at what I have to pay in 2 weeks, payment due in 15 days, $57 every 2 weeks.
I guess that's not bad, but it's still not great.
Yeah, but you know, it's a segment, so yeah, that's that.
Okay, moving on from something that you may have wrongfully acquired a Chromecast, but guess what I rightfully acquired
I don't
for
think
free?
we should even say that I wrongfully acquired it. To be honest, I think I acquired it by non-conventional means.
Okay.
The-
Angus,
the audience need know nothing more,
this week,
or need be confirmed of nothing more, rather.
I won an Instagram competition.
Oh, see, the reason I'm surprised by that isn't that you won an Instagram competition, it's kind of more that you entered one.
Angus,
I've
when you see
never-
what I just won, you won't blame me.
I'm at least glad that I didn't get tagged in a post, like one of the ones, tag 20 friends and go in the running to win a dildo. I've seen that so many times.
This one was tag one friend from Toys R Us.
Wait, now I'm just offended that you didn't tag me.
I was with someone else at the time. I had to tag them.
Okay.
Look what I just won. A Queen Pop Royal.
So Zach just wrote the Queen on the board, and I assumed it was some Queen-related news, but he has... I didn't even know they called them different things. It's a pop vinyl, but it's called a Pop Royal because it's the Queen.
I don't know what to do with it. Dad says it might be worth something, but I really doubt it. Like, it's $20 retail
What
value.
account was doing a competition to
Toys R
win-
Us.
What?
Toys R Us.
Oh, yeah, you just said that.
But what do I do with the Queen?
I don't
Like, there you
know.
go, inspect her.
What kid wants to win a Queen Elizabeth pop vinyl?
I don't know. What kid doesn't want to? Also, I don't think it's more of a kid thing. I think it's more of a don't you dare open the box.
I'm not opening the box, I'm just reading it. See, look, you didn't even get the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
Because they weren't in the competition.
Well, you gotta get the whole collection now.
What do I do with it?
I don't know. when this podcast, if this podcast ever becomes a video medium as well as an audio medium, you can sit it on the desk and people can see it.
Okay.
And we'll be like, hey, remember episode 12?
Zach won.
And everyone will be like,
the
no,
Queen.
that was very insignificant.
Mm.
Did you? I hope you prepared some other Queen-related content.
No.
So you haven't...
I have the Queen and nothing else for this podcast.
I just thought you might look into the Queen's life a little bit.
No, I don't give a shit about the Queen. I hate
feel like
the
you're
royal
now
family.
disrespecting the Queen by bringing her pop vinyl on the show, but not talking about her in any fashion.
I've never cared about the royal family. When the royal wedding happened, and I was like,
cared enough to enter a competition to win.
I commented
A
on a
toy.
post.
Okay. I have written something else on the board, which I did last week, and I think it's just going to become a running joke now.
I
think it's
I
pretty
really
funny.
do not like
Rolling
this
laughing
running.
emoji, rolling laughing emoji, rolling laughing emoji, if you know what I mean.
I really don't like this running joke on the podcast, which is really good if you haven't listened to it. Listen to the Zach and Gus podcast and vote for us. tinyurl.com/vote
If
Zach
you guys
Gus.
didn't realize, we actually do a podcast.
It's really good.
And it comes out every week on Sunday. Sometimes it's even recorded on Sunday.
This is a running joke that's been going. I think we've explained it on the podcast. Angus and I plug the podcast to each other, which is funny, but not really.
I don't think it's ever actually showed up on the podcast. I think we just do it. I don't think anyone else
Mm.
knows about that.
Okay, I'm really annoyed that you continue to drink water on the podcast, and most of
This
the
is
time
the first show where last week I did it. It happened once, and you made a meme out of it by making it really loud. But generally, I wouldn't just drink water on the show. So I genuinely want to know: is it bothering the audience, or do you enjoy it?
Nah, I reckon from now on, like starting next week, I will have a horn sound that will play on. I'll play on my phone so we can hear it, but then I'll edit it into the podcast. Every time you're drinking water, it'll make a sound to alert everyone that you're drinking water. So you can't do it
They're
discreetly
already
while I'm
alerted to
talking.
the fact that I'm drinking water by this.
I hate that so much.
So, yeah, something else. Something else that I want to bring to the podcast this week. You know, this is really different to the other things. I guess you could say it's sort of something else. Something else I'm about to bring is, Zach, you put a video on your story earlier this week that disturbed me.
Why? What
And
did I put on my story?
I blocked you afterwards, and you were questioning why
Oh,
I blocked
I
you.
can crack my nose.
It's not okay, but Zach put a video on his story where he cracked his nose like it was his fucking finger, and it was just... I don't think I've ever been more disturbed by a video, and I've seen videos of people dying online, so...
I don't think that's something
I-
to brag about. Angus, you record
I'm
this.
not bragging, I'm just saying, your nose crack is more disturbing than literally watching people lose their lives.
You record this. This is going on the Instagram story.
No! I'm closing my fucking eyes.
This is me cracking my nose. It's a very quiet sound. I've probably had to edit it in and make it go louder.
Oh, no. Ah, you've just thrown me off. I don't think I can finish the podcast.
Okay, well, we're just going to take a quick break so I can plug my computer in. And we're back.
How did you even find out that you could do that?
I don't know. I feel like I must have been like rubbing my face or something and accidentally
Anything around bleep noses just, I hate it because my nose is just broken and like...
My nose is stuffed permanently because of it. Can you see? Look at me straight on. Do you notice the fact that I've got a curved nose?
Sort of, but it's not as noticeable as mine.
But yeah, good point. But my nose is curved because of the fact that I've been cracking it.
That's bleep. Zach, why would you do that?
I can only crack it to my right, so it has to go to the right. And
I'm
sometimes
actually genuinely sorry. I feel like we've lost listeners. I don't think I should have brought that to the show.
no, I think it's worth it. I like the fact that I can crack my nose.
See, I literally blocked you because I think for the next day I was disturbed, and now it's just fully come back. So
Now I've realized I need to add you to my private story again because you would have left it.
hey, Zach, you know what I just thought? So if we're doing the podcast right now,
Yeah.
and we potentially didn't have time to get fish and chips before the podcast, could we get fish and chips after the podcast? Sorry, I just like bring up food plans for the listeners.
We could, yes.
We're gonna get fish and chips, and Gus's Fish and Chips review is gonna return next week with a new menu item, and it's gonna be a week late, so I probably won't remember.
Or we want to record it on our phones because we've done.
I guess we could do that if we have the time. Yeah.
Okay. Something else from Zach's side to end the podcast before we launch into Angus's review of food.
You have. Oh, so you mean it will be on this week's? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you've been watching a certain reality TV show, Zach, and I've seen your tweets about it because you're one of the only people I follow on Twitter. So I keep getting your BBAU hashtags in my feed, and I can't say I enjoy it, but then again, I can't really judge Big Brother because I've never watched it.
Okay, so I'm going to show you this video because the listeners are going to get the audio. But this week this happened on Big Brother. Well, last week, because this is now 2 weeks old.
Chad, waiting for you in the diary room is your dog Buddy. He's desperate for a pat.
No, that was pretty cute.
Yes, I mean, yeah.
Do you want to know what significance it has to bring to the podcast?
I'm so. Also, was that whole audio grab in the podcast?
Nah, I've totally chopped it down to the first 10 seconds.
That was very long, and I'm so confused. Like, yeah, it was cute. Why'd you bring it to the show?
I've never cried watching TV.
What the? No.
But that made me cry.
Zach cried watching a Big Brother contestant get reunited with their dog. I'm sorry, but that's freaking hilarious. That being said, cute. I can't talk because the only time I've cried watching anything was during an anime. So
that's 10 times sadder.
I think that's been brought up on the show. And no, fuck you. I hate the bad rap you get just for fucking watching a show because being like, oh, weeb. I cried during an anime and I am proud.
I cried watching Big Brother and I am proud. Okay, we're going to cut to Angus's fish and chip review. So, as you can tell by the good audio, we didn't end up getting fish and chips, so I thought I'd ring Angus so he can explain why. Hi, Gus, you're on the Zach and Gus podcast.
Really?
Yeah, and we're doing this.
Oh, yum! Fish and chips. I like even and pink ice cream. Wobbly jelly makes me scream. Mom's hamburgers are pretty cool, but I like fish and chips best of all.
Is this actually happening?
Make me want to lick my lips. Eat them for breakfast, lunch, and tea.
It's Gus's fish and chips review, you see.
Angus, I'm editing the podcast and we never did a fish and chip review, and I thought I would call you up on the podcast to see why didn't we do a fish and chip review?
Well, Zach, there's a very good reason why we never did a fish and chips review, and I'd say it's most likely that I never actually got any fish and chips.
That is very true. So what was your plan instead of reviewing fish and chips?
Look, I remember I left Aries and I was like, I'm going to get fish and chips in Geelong, and then I didn't. And I remember I definitely got something else. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was the day I ran into Tex at the station. Yes, I remember what I ate, and I can review it for you if you want. This is Gus's egg and bacon pie from the Coles server review. And also oak fantail.
Okay, well, I would love to hear a review of it. Just make it quick.
Alright, look, I'm trying to remember because I got something else. Oh yeah, and I got a custard donut.
Nice.
So we'll start off with the egg and bacon pie. Look, it was a pretty standard servo quality pie. The egg was pretty eggy, and the bacon was, look, the bacon wasn't the best, but, you know, it's what you'd expect for a couple dollars at Coles. The oak fantails was, honestly probably the best part of the meal, if you can even call it that. It was. I don't remember the last time I had a fantail, and I thought it would be interesting to know how it actually compares to the taste of a fantail. And I think it was similar, but like I said, I haven't had one in a while, so maybe I'll try a fantail in the near future, and on the next episode, I'll tell you guys how they stacked up against each other. But yeah, it was some very nice chalky milk. And last but not least, custard donut was absolutely abysmal. I would honestly rate the custard donut probably a 2 out of 10. The donut part was fine, but you know, when you get a custard donut, you expect a good amount of custard to be in the middle. There was the tiniest little dollop right in the very center, and I have to say I was pretty disappointed by that.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
doesn't sound too good.
But apart from that, no, it was all right for like I think I spent $15 and all of that.
Oh God, Angus.
But yeah, that was Gus's fish and chips review, not featuring fish or chips, but that's fine. Yeah, let us know if you want this segment to ever come back again.
And
I reckon we kill it.
I've honestly vote with you.
All right, is that all then?
Do you want to sign off? Do we want to say goodbye? This was the last thing of the podcast.
Oh yeah, all right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to the Zach and Gus podcast this week. Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Wowza!
That's the end of the podcast. We do still need you guys to vote, so if you haven't already voted,
Go vote now.
the equipment we'll get will make the quality of this podcast 20 billion times better. It won't, however, improve the quality of the content we bring to this show, which will still be at the moderate level we always promise.
That's right.
Click the link in the description. You know you can do it. It's really going to take 5 seconds, and it will help us massively.
I totally agree.
So please, go vote now.
Go vote now. That brings us to the end of another Zach and Gus episode.
You can like us on Facebook, Zach and Gus.
You can follow us on Instagram at Zach and Gus.
And you can contact this show anytime by emailing zachandgusshow@gmail.com.
Make sure you hit subscribe, and we'll see you next week.